What's the best way to support your friends' businesses? So last week, a friend of mine reached out who now owns the coding boot camp that Millie and I did 2 or 3 years ago now in Bali, where we learned to become full stack web developers. And he reached out and asked, "Hey, would you mind speaking to someone that I know who wants to be an entrepreneur?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no stress at all." Jumped on a call with him today for about 45 minutes, and it ended up really being a sales call for my friend's company, which is pretty awesome because, like, I do sales. But it just came from a place of honest truth and a testimonial as I am the avatar that would do this course, right? So having gone through it myself, having experienced it, I could give this guy the true reality of what it was like. And I don't think there's many better ways of supporting your friends other than trying their product or service if you are the right customer and giving feedback if it's warranted and if you're qualified to do so, but more so putting it out into the world. And so whenever I have the opportunity to, I wear my friend's merch. Like, this is one of my friend's businesses. Is a live print shop based in Las Vegas, and sick story, and it's wicked. And I wear the Lawagan Bali t-shirts all the time, and I've got other friends whose merch that I wear, and I rep as much of it as possible because I want to get their name out there and people ask me questions about it. But today I might have just secured like a $7,000 sale for a guy. And you know, I'd be pretty stoked if someone did that for my own company. It doesn't take much to support your friends in their businesses. If they do something that you actively want or need, and you're the right person that they would market to, buy the thing. Buy the thing if you actually want it. And if it's not good, it is worth telling your friend, hey, from a point of view of the customer you're trying to serve, I struggled with these areas. And it may or may not be helpful to them depending on how big of a sample size they have, how close to their actual avatar are you. But they'll know better than you will. And so having that information just gives them the ability to make the decisions and the changes based on their experience and yours. So there you go. Really simple way of how to support your friends. I also had a great conversation with this guy. He's pretty fresh out of university, wanted to know what the experience was going to be like, and so I might as well just share my final thoughts with all of you about should you do a coding boot camp like Lawagan. All in all, yes. Like, I don't think any person on the planet would regret doing that. It was one of the most fun experiences I've ever done, like the most alive I felt in years. It was really, really enjoyable, but it was hard work. I think we worked on average like 55 hours a week learning to program, but it was the closest thing I ever learned to magic. Of like, you can have an idea of something that doesn't exist and you can bring it into reality. Now, if I were to define power, I probably would put it along the lines of being able to materialize thoughts. So you think something and it affects and happens in the real world. That is like omnipotence, the power of like a god. And that was like the closest experience I ever had to it. And it was wild. So for that alone, but it really helps open up the way that I process the world, which is thinking about from what are the core principles and the laws of physics by which the universe is governed, and then we start and build up from there as to figure out what's possible and what's not. It's a unique way of tackling problems, which is fun. I also met some of my best friends where I went out to Bali to do the course. And so many other people doing similar things, and just interesting individuals with stories and backgrounds and dreams. So yeah, I think all in all, it's a fantastic thing. But I think the single biggest takeaway that anyone would actually get from it is proof that you have managed to do something exceptional. I don't know how many people on the planet, what proportion, have gone out of their way to spend a significant sum of money, $7,000, to better themselves and not just come away with a piece of paper like you do from a university course or something, but to actually come away with something tangible that you can show people and say, hey, look, I built this thing. This is yeah, I don't have the qualifications or anything, but look, here's the proof, I've done it and I know how to do it. And I think that's so special. I think that's why we give such incredible kudos to the people who build and renovate homes, or artists and sculptors and engineers and inventors, because they physically create things that you can show people, and it's really, really exciting. And I think if you're ever looking for a job, it makes you stand out from the job market tremendously. And if you're trying to build your own business or build something outside of that, that's the skill that you're going to need, the determination to be able to build something that didn't exist. So it'll be your first step of proof in terms of the direction of entrepreneurship, of can you not have a skill, not have any knowledge, to develop the skill, implement the knowledge and create a thing. Because that's all business is. It's all any activity is. You start from not doing it and then you're able to do it and end up with a finished product. So that's my key takeaway on learning pretty much anything. If you can come away with a thing that's tangible that you can show other people to say, hey, this is the skill I've got, I think it's probably a worthwhile endeavour, and you will learn a lot along the way, not just in the thing you're learning about. I believe hard work works on you more than you work on it. I like that saying a lot. There you go. So if you want to check out the bootcamp that I did, it's called Le Wagon, and it's honestly, it's fantastic. My number one tip for it, if you're going to do it, is do the prep work, okay? They say it's 40 hours, it's not, it's probably closer to 10, but it is 10 hours of work, and if you don't go, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. That's all I can say. All right, have a great day, guys. Peace.